All right, welcome back. This is my third video on that great Alaskan cruise on the Norwegian Bliss. I'm going to cover today the excursions. Yes, get off the boat. 9 times out of 10, you're going to stop at least 4 to 5 locations in Alaska. Get off the boat, see the towns. But I want to share some things that you probably should know before you go out and book those excursions and some of the things that you want to consider. So the first thing you want to consider is the times that you're getting into port. I am not a morning person at all, but all the times that we were getting into port was super early. I'm talking we're getting into port at 6 a.m. Not ideal for me. So when you're thinking about excursions, you're going to have to take that into account. So if you book an excursion and the excursion starts at 7 a.m. and you're going to be leaving the port at 1 p.m., you may have some time after the excursion to do a little bit of things in the city. Sometimes you might not. So you want to look at how long is that excursion, right? How active is that excursion? If you go on an active excursion like I did a bike and hike in Sitka. Yeah, I should have asked questions. I should have considered that I don't know what type of terrain we're going to be biking on. I knew the bike was not an electric bike, but I didn't realize that it was going to be so hilly. And so that hill, it did me in. But thankfully, any excursion that you're going to go on, trust me, they're going to try their best to accommodate you, make you feel comfortable, and they did that without fail for me. Another thing that you're going to want to consider when you're booking your excursion is if you're a solo traveler like me and you're thinking about excursion and you're not really sure, if you know you absolutely want to do it, book it as soon as you see it. Some of these excursions fill up pretty quickly, and you might miss your opportunity to do whatever that bucket list item is. The third thing you want to consider is the excursions in Alaska are pricey because they are like super unique. Things like flying on a helicopter and standing on a glacier. So that's not going to cost you $199. You know, this is not the Caribbean. You can't just get a beach and a lunch for $129. That's not this in Alaska. So be prepared to spend a little bit on excursions, and I would suggest splurge. Maybe not get that balcony room if that's the way you're going. You know, you kind of got a hard budget that you got to follow. But I would strongly suggest do at least one excursion that you would never be able to try anyplace else. I'm not saying don't do the zip line. They have one of the longest zip lines in icy Strait Point. So that might be on your list. But that's also, you can zip line in other places. But you can't go bobsledding you can't go dog sledding anywhere else. You can't get on a helicopter and stand on a glacier. And we know global warming is real. I witnessed that for myself when I went to the Mendenhall Glacier and saw that the glacier has receded significantly since just 1990 alone. In about 30 years, you're not even going to be able to see the glacier. So if you're thinking about going to Alaska, definitely go see that glacier. Whether you get there by canoe, kayak, hike, whatever the case may be, splurge a little bit on the excursions, but also know beforehand that it's going to cost you a little bit. So if you're going to NCL, go to the excursion page and look at how much are these excursions. The other thing to consider is if you're traveling solo and you're unsure about excursion, you don't really have anything that's like hard and fast that you're going to want to do, stay tuned on my next video. Or I think it's like 2 videos from this. I'm going to talk about solo traveling. You might meet a friend, a buddy that is doing an excursion that you can tag along with. So maybe don't be so quick to book every single thing if it's not something that you would die if you didn't do that while you're in Alaska. So be open to doing something new, doing something exciting that otherwise you would not be able to do. The last thing I want to tell you about excursions is if it's raining, that does not mean it's going to get canceled. It just means it's going to be raining while you're doing it. And also the weather it can start raining in the beginning of an activity, and by the time you're done, the sun's out and it's warmer. So don't let that get in the way of you having a great time. What did I say in the other video? Pack layers. So if you've got layers, if something starts to happen, starts to rain, you pull out your poncho, put that poncho on. If it gets a little chilly, put your gloves on. Pack your jacket that you can roll up and throw in your backpack. I would strongly advise that if you are going on an excursion, make sure you read the description, and if you have questions, definitely call the cruise line and ask them, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Would you recommend it, or is this something that I'm really going to be active in? Or you can also try to find out who's the actual vendor of that excursion and reach out to them, whether it's on social media, on their website, whatever the case may be. As I'm talking, I'm kind of sharing some of the videos and clips from excursions that I went on in Alaska, and they were absolutely amazing. Seeing the glaciers, going for a hike, as well as doing some pre-cruise things, that's also feasible, and I'll share that in a different video. So that is my take on the excursion. Get out there, do something new, something exciting, and live a little. You're definitely gonna want to see the whales. If you've never seen whales, I'm not talking about some Free Willy. Go see the whales. I say 99% of the time you're gonna see something. It all depends on how much you see, but you're gonna see something. And I was amazed by what I saw, so I want you to be amazed as well. So if it means waking up a little bit early and seeing those whales, do it. One other time will you have to be able to do it? So get out there and see all that Alaska has to offer. And as always, this is not a promo video. If you book your excursion with the cruise line, they cannot leave you. All right. So although sometimes it might be slightly cheaper to book it directly with the vendor, you'll also find that, hey, the peace of mind that the cruise line provides by getting you to your excursion and getting you back to the boat and it still being there on time, is the peace of mind is worth $1 million just by itself. So get out there and see Alaska.